Hello everybody, it's Matt here with Wrestling with Whiskey. Thank you so much for all your questions. We are coming here right from beautiful Lubbock, Texas. Just had a show and the crowd was great. It was awesome. I'm going to try to do these rapid fire because I got stuff to do, I got places to be, and I'm always traveling. But thank you so much. Keep sending them to wrestlingwithwhiskey@gmail.com. Let's shoot these off. First question is from Brandon. Not a whiskey guy, but a friend is. Fantastic. What do you think are the best whiskey mixers? Nothing. Next is from Raymond. Raymond says, are you a beer person? If so, what types of beer do you like? No, I'm not. If I do, it's something dark like a Guinness, like a stout, or a bourbon barrel-aged beer like Goose Island does. Those are pretty awesome. Next is from Jared. He said, what do you suggest for a first-time whiskey drinker? Would something like Jack Daniels be good? Jack Daniels is fine. A lot of people associate it with just tossing it back, but they do a lot of cool single barrel-proof stuff to kind of change their expression a little bit, which is cool. But I always like things like Eagle Rare, Old Granddad, Wild Turkey 101, some Knob Creek or Old Forester standard editions. Those are pretty affordable. Don't spend a lot of money, but try something with a good brand name and learn to sip on it. Next is from Tom. Tom's from Sheffield, England. He said, if I wanted to sit down and have a glass of whiskey or conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be? God, that's a good question. I got to go with Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway seems like a very matter-of-fact, contemplative gentleman and would like a stiff drink like whiskey and was from my favorite time period, the 1920s. Go watch Midnight in Paris. You'll see why. Next is from Carrie, who's also from the UK. Most of her friends like to drink whatever's cheap and get drunk, which is probably how most people start. That is true, Carrie. Should you remember the first whiskey you had that you really wanted to sit and enjoy? Knob Creek Single Barrel. That was the first one that I really dedicated myself to sitting down and just enjoying. It's higher proof. It's straight from the barrel, or barrel proof, excuse me. And so the flavor is a little bit richer, though it took a little bit more time because it was so hard to drink. Thank you, Carrie. Dustin wants to know, have I ever had Lead Slinger's whiskey made by a great group of veterans? No, I have not, but it is on my radar. Thank you, Dustin. Samantha, she had a couple of questions. What made you passionate about whiskey, and do you have a favorite brand? God, just all the stories about it, and learning that when I started tasting the flavors and smelling everything in the glass and realizing it wasn't just something to throw back, and then listening to people like Bourbon Pursuit and Fred Minnick who tell you the stories and realize there's a whole community behind it, that's when I really got into bourbon. What can we expect from your YouTube channel in the future? More of this. You asking questions, me asking questions, all of us learning together. Rusty with a classic question. I was curious if there's a time to add water or ice to whiskey, or if you believe it should always be neat. I prefer mine with a cube or two, but most people I know prefer it neat. It's Rusty in Kansas. I always drink it neat, but it took me a while to get there. The bottom line is, drink it how you like it, and don't let any bully push you around. You drink like you like it, man. Do you? Next is from Matthew, who's in Chicago. When did whiskey... First is, what are your favorite places to eat in Chicago? God, man, there's a gazillion places. Big Star and Longman and Eagle are great whiskey places that have great food. The Loyalist is a great restaurant and bar attached to a really fancy restaurant that I haven't been to called Smith. Out in the west suburbs, I just went to V in Western Springs, which is fantastic. John has a question. Hey, John. His question is, he went to Kentucky this past April and was on the Bourbon Trail at Wild Turkey, Four Roses, Woodford, James Pepper, etc. His favorite was Buffalo Trace. Have I ever gone? No, John, I haven't, and it's crazy, I know, but with my schedule, it's so busy. Even when we do get to Kentucky, it's for a day, and I have a show that night, and got to go to the gym, and it's really crazy. So I try to get to where I can, but I will be planning a trip to really dedicate and visit the distilleries at some point in the future. You can bet on it. And that's it. Thank you guys so much. I want to keep answering your questions. Keep sending them to me. Keep following me and finding me on all the places listed below. This is awesome. We're going to do more of this. We're going to learn together. We're going to go to distilleries. We're going to go to liquor stores. We're going to go all over and learn about this beautiful brown spirit. So thank you, everybody. I will always be here, and I will always be wrestling with whiskey.